Welcome, seeker.
They say it stood at the center of the garden, a radiant tree whose branches held the secrets of the cosmos and whose roots pierced the very fabric of reality. But what if the tree of life is not just a myth, not merely a symbol of ancient religion or mystic tradition, but a map, a divine diagram, revealing the architecture of your soul, the structure of the universe, and the hidden bridge between the two? What if understanding this tree could shift how you see yourself forever? Across cultures and epochs, from the temples of Kabbalists to the tombs of the pharaohs, from Norse Yggdrasil to the Bodhi tree, beneath which the Buddha awoke, the image of a sacred tree appears again and again, whispering the same message. There is a pattern to all things, a design that connects the heavens and the earth, the spirit and the flesh, the one and the many. But in the Western esoteric tradition, especially within Hermeticism and Jewish mysticism, the tree of life isn't just a poetic metaphor. It is a living glyph, a symbolic system encoded with deep spiritual technology, a ladder of 10 emanations known as Sefirot, each one a portal to divine understanding. Yet most never get beyond the surface. They see lines and circles, Hebrew names and arcane titles, and miss the profound truth. This tree is not just about the divine, it's about you. In this video, we'll explore the real meaning of the tree of life, not as an abstract symbol, but as a mirror of your own consciousness. We'll journey through its origins, decode its sacred geometry, and uncover how this ancient diagram can guide you through the labyrinth of inner transformation. We'll also touch on the hidden reason this knowledge has been suppressed, and why awakening to its wisdom now, in this moment of history, is more vital than ever. So, prepare yourself, because once you see the tree for what it truly is, you won't look at the world the same way again. Long before the tree of life adorned mystical diagrams and adorned the minds of modern seekers, it was hidden in plain sight, encoded in ancient mythologies, etched into temple walls, and whispered through sacred rites only the initiated could hear. To truly understand its meaning, we must first journey backward, not just through history, but into the symbolic language of the ancients. Because the tree was never just a tree. The version of the tree of life most familiar today finds its roots in Kabbalah, the mystical branch of Judaism. Kabbalists spoke of a divine source, Ein Sof, the infinite, beyond comprehension, beyond form. From that infinite void, reality unfolded through 10 emanations, or Sefirot, each one a filter, a face of the divine, and a step down from pure unity into manifested existence. These emanations weren't physical realms, but archetypal principles. From Keter, the crown, representing divine will, to Malkuth, the kingdom, symbolizing the material world. Between them flows the creative current, the light of creation, ascending from spirit to matter. But here's the secret. This wasn't just theology. It was a map of consciousness, a tool to navigate the inner worlds, to ascend back toward the divine through introspection, ritual, and initiation. Yet long before Kabbalah gave structure to this knowledge, its roots extended far deeper. In ancient Egypt, the god Thoth, scribe of the gods and master of sacred geometry, was said to possess a secret tree bearing the fruits of divine wisdom. The Ankh, often held beside stylized depictions of trees, wasn't just a symbol of life. It was the key to higher dimensions of being. In Mesopotamia, the Assyrians carved sacred trees flanked by winged beings, often mistaken as decorations, but now understood to represent cosmic order and initiation. Even the famed caduceus, the staff of Hermes with its twin serpents and central rod, mirrors the tree's vertical axis, symbolizing the path between heaven and earth. And in the east, the Bodhi tree, under which Siddhartha attained enlightenment, or the cosmic tree of Hindu and Jain cosmology, its branches stretching into celestial realms. All point to a universal archetype, an eternal truth that civilizations across the globe remembered and encoded again and again. Philosophically, the tree of life mirrors what modern mystics and quantum theorists alike are beginning to realize. There is a fractal intelligence behind creation, a pattern that repeats from the macrocosm to the microcosm, from galaxies spiraling in the heavens to neurons firing in the brain. The tree is not a symbol confined to parchment or temple. It's a blueprint of the soul of the universe, of the very act of becoming. But if this knowledge was so vital, so universal, why did it vanish from public view? The answer lies in power. Throughout history, initiatory knowledge was kept secret, not to exclude, but to protect, to ensure that only those spiritually prepared would handle it with reverence, not recklessness. In medieval Europe, mystics risked persecution for speaking of hidden dimensions or divine emanations. Even in the Renaissance, when Hermetic and Kabbalistic thought experienced a rebirth, this knowledge remained cloaked in allegory and symbolism, decipherable only to those who saw with more than just their eyes. Today, however, the veil is lifting, because the world is once again at a threshold, and the ancient tools of awakening are returning to those who are ready. In the next part, we will begin to break down the tree itself, not as a chart to memorize, but as a living symbol that mirrors your own spiritual journey. Each Sefirot, each path, each interplay, it all speaks to something within you that has always known, always remembered, even if the world taught you to forget. Are you ready to remember? The tree of life is not a symbol to be worshipped. It is a map, a multi-dimensional mirror, not of the outer world, but of the soul itself. When you gaze upon the tree, you're not just looking at a mystical diagram. You are staring into the divine blueprint of your own being, a ladder stretching from the material to the celestial, from the fragmented self back to unity. But to climb, it is not to ascend physically. It is to awaken inwardly, to activate forces that lie dormant within your consciousness. The tree is composed of 10 spheres, called Sefirot, and 22 paths connecting them. Each Sefirot is an emanation of divine force, and together they form 3 pillars. The pillar of mercy, right side, expansive, active, masculine. The pillar of severity, left side, constrictive, passive, feminine. And the central pillar of balance, or mildness, the sacred equilibrium. At the top sits Keter, the crown, pure potential, unformed and infinite. It is the divine spark before creation, beyond words, beyond thought. As creation descends, it flows through. Chokmah, wisdom, the seed of force and raw energy. And Bina, understanding, the womb of form and structure. These 3 form the supernal triangle, a realm beyond duality, where the divine dream begins to crystallize. But it doesn't stop there. Below them unfold the realms of soul and psyche. Chest, mercy. Love, generosity, expansion. Geburah, severity. Discipline, strength, boundaries. Tippereth, beauty. The heart, balance, harmony, the radiant self. Then the energies descend further, solidifying into Netzek, victory. Passion, desire, creative force. Had, splendor. Intellect, communication, logic. Yesod, foundation. The subconscious dreams the gateway to form. And finally, all forces converge in Malkuth, the kingdom, our physical world, the culmination of divine descent. But here's the hidden truth. The tree doesn't just describe how God creates the universe. It also reveals how you return to God. Every trial you face, every shadow you integrate, every insight you earn is a step upward on this tree. What if you've walked this path before, unknowingly? What if each archetype, each Sefirot, is a reflection of aspects already within you? Your intuition, your will, your doubts, your dreams, all orbiting a divine center, waiting to be aligned. This is why mystics across traditions referred to initiation as a climbing of the tree, It was not a linear journey, but a spiral ascent, a returning to source through deeper and deeper layers of inner knowing. In a world divided between mind and body, light and shadow, sacred and profane, the tree offers a forgotten truth. Balance is the bridge. The central pillar, home to Keter, Tiphereth, Yesod, and Malkuth, is the royal path walked by sages and seers. It is the alchemical road where opposites unite, where wisdom doesn't reject the world, but redeems it, where the divine doesn't sit above us, but awakens within us. This is the path Christ walked, the road Buddha pointed toward, the current Hermes traced through the caduceus. We've only begun to touch the surface. Each Sefirot holds keys, stories, energies, challenges that shape your soul's evolution. In the next section, we'll dive deeper into the hidden meanings, the paradoxes, and the sacred mysteries encoded within the tree. But before we go further, pause for a moment. Look inward. Where are you on the tree? Are you caught in Malkuth, the realm of form? Balancing the forces of Netzach and Hod, desire and logic? Or maybe reaching for Tiphereth, the radiant self? Wherever you are, the path is not behind you. It's unfolding beneath your feet now. If this journey speaks to something ancient within you, subscribe to the channel and become part of this unfolding mystery. And in the comments, share where you feel yourself on the tree, not as a test, but as a reflection. We are all climbing, and the path remembers you. The tree of life is usually seen upright, ascending from earth to the heavens. But the mystics knew a secret most overlook. Its roots are not in the soil, but in the unseen. It is an inverted tree with its source in the divine and its fruits ripening in the world of matter. To truly understand it, you must see it not just as a ladder of ascent, but as a mirror of descent, where the spiritual pours itself into form, and form reaches back toward spirit. This paradox is the key to unlocking the tree's most hidden teachings. There's a space on the tree that is not listed among the 10 Sephiroth, a mysterious, invisible sphere, one that whispers instead of shines. Its name is Dath, meaning knowledge. But unlike the other Sephiroth, Dath exists only in transition. It is not a station, but a veil, a gate between the lower self and the divine mind. Some say Dath is the fruit from the Garden of Eden, the knowledge of good and evil that split consciousness in two. Others claim it is the abyss, the place where the ego dissolves, where the initiate must face the great unknown, the dark night of the soul. And yet, within that void lies the paradox. Only through unknowing do we begin to know. In Kabbalistic tradition, the tree of life is more than a diagram. It is the divine form of the primordial human, Adam Kadmon. Each Sefirot corresponds to a part of the body: Keter, the crown of the head; Chokmah and Bina, right and left hemispheres of the brain; Tiphereth, the heart; Yesod, the reproductive center; Malkuth, the feet, the grounding point in the physical world. This isn't symbolic, it's sacred architecture. The tree is within you, your body is the temple, and every experience, sensation, and emotion is part of a sacred unfolding. The mystic path is not about escaping the body, but sanctifying it. Each breath becomes a prayer, each heartbeat a rung on the ladder. Between the Sephiroth run 22 paths, each linked to one of the Hebrew letters and the major arcana of the tarot. These aren't just connections. They are currents of transformation, bridges between states of consciousness. The path from Yesod to Tiphereth, for example, represents the passage from the subconscious to the awakened self, an inner resurrection. The path from Hod to Netzach is the dance between logic and emotion, mind and desire. These inner roads echo the journey of the fool in the tarot, beginning in innocence, traveling through trials, revelations, death, rebirth, until finally returning to the divine source, transformed. The tree, then, is not linear. It's alchemical. Each movement rebalances opposites. Each step initiates a deeper union. Though rooted in Kabbalah, the tree of life is not exclusive to any one culture. In Hermeticism, the same structure echoes through the emerald tablet. As above, so below. In Hinduism, the concept of chakras mirrors the Sefirot, energy centers aligned along a central spine. In Norse mythology, the tree Yggdrasil connects all realms of existence, rooted in the unseen, bridging heaven and earth. The symbol is universal because the truth it reflects is universal. Whether it's the axis mundi, the world tree, the cosmic pillar, or the staff of Hermes, the message is the same. There is a hidden order within you, and awakening means aligning yourself with it. Many today misrepresent the tree. They see it as a tool for manifesting wealth or reducing it to a personality test. But the tree is not a shortcut to power. It is a trial by fire, a mirror that doesn't flatter, but reveals. Every step upward demands surrender of illusions, of identity, of control. It's not a ladder to climb for ego. It's a descent to the soul and a reascent in truth. So where does this leave us? The tree of life is not a closed system. It is alive, and it evolves as you do. Each time you revisit it, it reflects something new, because you are not the same. The mystery of the tree is that it never gives final answers, only deeper questions. And perhaps that's the point, because it's not a map to follow blindly. It's a mirror, inviting you to know yourself, not just intellectually, but mystically, and through that knowledge to return. All this ancient wisdom, all these layers of hidden meaning, they aren't just metaphysical curiosities or symbols locked away in dusty scrolls. The tree of life was never meant to be merely studied. It was meant to be lived. It is a living blueprint, not just of the universe, but of your inner world. And once you begin to walk it consciously, it changes you. Your thoughts sharpen, your emotions stabilize, your will strengthens. The mysteries begin to move through your body like breath through lungs. So how can you begin this path? Not just in theory, but in practice. Let's start with the roots. 1. Climbing the tree within. One of the most powerful exercises is tree of life meditation. You begin by visualizing yourself as the tree itself. Close your eyes. Feel your feet rooted in Malkuth, the kingdom, the earth. Acknowledge the physical, your body, your environment, your habits. Then slowly rise upward, breath by breath, into Yesod, your subconscious, your dreams, memories, hidden patterns. Into Had, your logic. Observe your thinking without judgment. Into Netzach, your emotions. Feel what moves you and why. Into Tifereth, the heart, where your true self radiates like the sun. Continue upward, passing through the levels of your being. Each Sefirot is like a rung in your awareness. And in Keter, the crown, the place of silence, stillness, and pure light. This exercise, done consistently, aligns your mind, emotions, and body like tuning an ancient instrument. 2. Pathworking, inner journeys. Pathworking is a mystical visualization technique used by initiates to explore the inner landscape of the tree. You choose a path between two Sefirot and meditate on what it represents. For example, walking the path from Yesod to Tifereth is a journey from egoic desire to divine will. From Had to Netzach is learning to balance cold reason with warm passion. Each path has a corresponding Hebrew letter, tarot card, and archetypal energy. During your meditation, imagine entering a landscape or temple that reflects this path. Meet guides, face symbols, receive insights. Write down what you see. Over time, the symbols will begin to reveal deeper truths about your life, your purpose, and your shadows. 3. Real-world alignment, living the Sefirot. Each Sefirah also invites you to embody its principle in your daily life. Here's how. Malkuth, earth. Ground yourself. Declutter your space. Walk barefoot. Pay attention to your body. Yesod, foundation. Keep a dream journal. Notice repeating patterns. Heal emotional wounds. Tippereth, beauty. Practice compassion. Speak truth. Lead from the heart, not ego. Gabura, severity. Set boundaries. Say no. Cut away what no longer serves you. Chest, mercy. Be generous. Forgive. Hold space for others' growth. Keter, crown. Meditate daily. Embrace stillness. Contemplate the infinite. These aren't just virtues, they're forces within you. By living in alignment with them, you activate the tree in your own soul. 4. Journaling exercise. Mapping your current position. Where am I in the tree right now? Am I lost in the realm of Yesod, reacting from subconscious patterns? Am I stuck in Hod, overanalyzing without action? Am I disconnected from Tippereth, my true self? Write it down. Then ask, what energy do I need to embody to move forward? This simple check-in, done weekly, becomes a compass for your inner journey. 5. Ritual integration. The tree as sacred space. You can also create ritual space that mirrors the tree. Arrange candles or stones in the shape of the Sefirot on the floor or an altar. As you meditate or do breathwork, move through each station physically. This turns abstract knowledge into embodied experience. Light incense for Tippereth. Pour water for Bina. Strike a bell for Keter. Each sense becomes a portal. Each movement, a prayer. Over time, your room becomes a temple, and your body becomes the tree. The tree of life isn't just something you contemplate from afar. It is an inner alchemy, a transformation that unfolds the moment you dare to live its truth. And the more you align with it, the more you'll notice the world changing around you. Not because the world changed, but because you did. This is the hidden promise of the tree, to root yourself in the world, to reach toward the divine, and to become the bridge between both. In the end, the tree of life is not just a map of reality. It is a mirror, one that shows you not just who you are, but what you could be. Its branches stretch beyond time, its roots drink from the waters of eternity, and its fruit is self-realization. But here's the secret few ever understand. You were never meant to worship the tree from afar. You were meant to become it. We began this journey by unraveling ancient whispers, the hidden meanings encoded in this sacred symbol passed down by mystics, sages, and initiates. We traced its origins from ancient Kabbalah and Egypt's Hermetic legacy to its philosophical resonance with Platonic ideals and cosmic structure. We peeled back the veil of symbols, Sefirot and paths, dualities and triads, and discovered that each one is not just a concept, but a doorway. We explored the dynamic tension between opposites, the vertical ascent from matter to spirit, and the real work of balancing severity with mercy, intellect with emotion, action with reflection. And we did not leave it in theory. We walked the paths practically, in meditation, in ritual, in daily action, learning to ground this ancient wisdom into modern life. The world we see around us is a tree in decay, disconnection, fragmentation, imbalance. But within you, the eternal tree waits, not outside in some forgotten temple, but in the architecture of your own soul. You are Malkuth, and you are Keter. You are root and crown, shadow and light. You are the bridge between the worlds. And as you climb inward, you restore what the world has forgotten. Because every time you ascend the tree, you help bring heaven a little closer to earth. The tree of life is not the end of the journey. It is the beginning of the great work, the sacred task of becoming whole, of remembering what has been lost, of illuminating the path for others still wandering in the dark. So I'll leave you with a question. Where are you on the tree right now? And where do you dare to climb next? If this exploration stirred something deep within you, if the symbols echoed truths you've always felt but never heard spoken, subscribe to join this journey into the hidden, the sacred, and the eternal. Comment below with your thoughts, your path, your questions. Let this be a living tree, and let it grow through us.